All right, we are live right now, and happy Wednesday, everyone. Let's give another minute for everyone to join the live stream. Um, Checking with my team on how many people are there. All right. Uh, and we have a chat going on the right side of your screen if you could see this. And I wanted to wish everybody happy new year, if we can still say happy new year. It's 22 days, but still we are celebrating the January month. So thanks everyone for joining on a Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And we are super excited to have this session with everyone here. And today's agenda would be just a quick introduction about what Soopra is. And we will dive into talking to this expert panel who are pioneering the AI persona creation and leading the way how AI can teach and learn through the AI personas. And don't leave until we end this session because we have a surprise for you guys that we will reveal at after this panel discussion. So stay on. So I would like to kickstart with a quick video so that everybody understands what Supra is.
No sound.
Envision.
Now.
In 1985, Steve Jobs envisioned having a tool to enable you to talk to a virtual Aristotle one day.
Do you know who Alexander the Great's tutor was for about 14 years? You know, Aristotle. And I read this. I became immensely jealous. And I think I would have enjoyed that a great deal. And through the miracle of the printed page, I can at least read what Aristotle wrote without an intermediary. And maybe if there's a professor, they can add to that. But at least I can go directly to the source material. And that is, of course, the foundation upon which our Western civilization is built. But I can't ask Aristotle a question. I mean, I can, but I won't get an answer. And so my hope is that in our lifetimes, we can make a tool of a new kind, of an interactive kind. And so my hope is someday, when the next Aristotle is alive, we can capture the underlying worldview of that Aristotle in a computer. And someday, some student will be able to not only read the words Aristotle wrote, but ask Aristotle a question and get an answer. And that's what I hope that we can do.
Steve Jobs dreamed it. Today, we're making it real with Supra.
Are you a modern-day Aristotle looking to grow your influence and monetize your knowledge effortlessly?
With Supra, you can transform your expertise into an interactive AI persona, available 24/7 to engage audiences everywhere.
Visit supra.ai and start creating your AI persona today.
That's a quick intro about what Supra is. Sorry about that. And I wanted to say that today on Supra, we have experts like professors, thought leaders who create the AI persona with their knowledge and data. With the interactive AI, they're making it available 24/7 to their followers and students. And if you're an expert in this participant, I would highly encourage you to try it out today. And at the end of the session, as I said, we have a surprise for you. And if you're a learner, check out our AI personas to learn and interact what you can learn from these experts. And in today's panel, we have thought leaders and experts like Dr. Ronjon Nag, Dr. Frank Sortino, and Bob Vosburgh. So a little bit about our panel today. Dr. Ronjon Nag, he's an innovator and entrepreneur. He's an adjunct professor at Stanford School of Medicine in genetics. He became the Stanford Distinguished Career Institute Fellow in 2016. He is the founder of R42 Group and Institute. And R42 Group and Institute bridges the gap between the cutting edge technology and the enthusiast of technology. You can learn a lot. The Institute offers a platform for you to learn various projects that are cutting edge. And he is an advisor and a board member for multiple startups. His companies have been sold to Apple, BlackBerry, and Motorola. He recently received the Silicon Valley Engineering Hall of Fame award in 2024 for his contribution to technology. And thank you, Ronjon, and welcome again. And Dr. Frank Sortino is a worldwide known for his research worldwide efforts with the experts like Dr. Robert van der Meer at Shell Oil, the Netherlands, and Claire Murphy at San Francisco Pension Fund. He is the founder and director of Pension Research Institute, and he's the creator of Sortino ratio and postmodern portfolio theory. He has been featured as a speaker in conferences across Japan, Europe, South Africa, and all across America. And also, he's an author of 2 books on portfolio theory, and he contributed to numerous publications. Welcome, Frank Sortino.
Thank you.
And we have Bob Vosburgh. Bob Vosburgh is a unique personality, I could say, because he spent 14 years in Air Force as firefighter pilot. He taught aeronautical engineering at U.S. Army Air Force Academy before flying F-16 in Japan when he was a squadron top gun. After Air Force, he ventured into more of a corporate world where he joined the super regional bank and managed an institutional sales group that dealt with over 500 banks. And Bob founded SurveyVitals, and SurveyVital was acquired by Qualtrics in December 2021. And he is a keynote speaker, author, and coach. And I wanted to welcome you all today morning to share wonderful thoughts across. There is a lot of AI talk going on right now with the news going on, but we would be focusing on AI personas. Because, Bob, you have the mic right now. This question I wanted to share with you to get your thoughts on, which is what role you see AI personas playing in the future of knowledge sharing and personal development. Can you share your thoughts with our audience here?
I'd be happy to. And I think the answer is a lot. And you inferred a little bit about the Davos meeting this morning. I watched that for an hour or two, and it's incredible the amount of investment and how fast things are moving forward here. So I came up with a few things to talk about here. First, the personalized learning and skill development, adaptive learning companions, and this is all about Soopra, based on individual preferences, like a tutor that evolves with the learner. And Soopra is all over this, and I'll share a few examples. Soopra avatars with facial details and improved interactions will be in beta this quarter, and then for all of the Soopra experts in the second quarter, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on these dates, Praveena. Appreciate that. Enhanced collaboration and team dynamics are also a player, of course. I recently watched a Soopra board member scenario where the avatar persona of Ronjon actually was part of a meeting. It was amazing. The avatar knew when to interact and when to sit quietly. Imagine you're a startup, and I love brainstorming about where we can be as we move from, Praveena's used to me saying this, from black and white to the Technicolor solution. That's a real possibility here. But imagine you're an underfunded startup and with the help of super avatars, you can avoid having to make expensive hires and instead start every day by sitting down in front of your big screen with avatars who engage with you across all of the executive functions from sales and marketing to development and finance. The relationships build and adapt to your style, costing only pennies on the dollar. Another super innovation is a persona who learns from established team members so that when they depart, the corporate memory is retained, allowing the knowledge to be passed along by a new hire, avatar mentor, and coach. And speaking of that, I've come up with a mentor avatar I sent to you this morning, Praveena, named Maxwell Sage. So the avatar Maxwell Sage, which is a cutesy name, super plans to have enhanced personal engagement avatars that take visual cues as to one's engagement and comprehension. We've talked about this as it relates to courses and things like that, where the mentor, the teacher is engaging with an eighth grade student, and with the video activated, they can actually watch for visual cues as to whether or not the student's engaged or misunderstanding. And then the avatar can back up and say, let me tell you that to a different way. It's fantastic stuff. The mentor can also be in the executive lineup. An app is in the works, so someday you'll be able to tap and engage anytime you have your phone. Wherever you are, if you are trying to make a decision, you can bring it up. Mentor has a knowledge base that's constantly updating, facilitating cross-disciplinary knowledge, and can help people at any level with lifelong learning and improvement. So there's the answer to that question with a little bit of detail and relating it to Supra. And the answer is yes, huge.
That's great. Yeah, absolutely. So with AI personas, as you're seeing that there is AI agent, but can personas truly reflect as an expert that can interact and have a meaningful contribution to a conversation? That's where AI personas are playing a role right now, and that's where Supra is. Thanks, Bob, for sharing it. Anything, Ronjon or Frank, you want to add to it?
No.
That's great. So this second question I have is for Ronjon, because Ronjon, you are in various areas. One is AI, longevity, health tech. But I wanted to really share wanted to make sure you share your ideas and thoughts with audience here is what challenges do you foresee in integrating AI personas into industries like education and healthcare, and especially in the biotech space?
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's been such a great pleasure to be here. Um, so I created my Supra. I call it my digital twin. Some people call it an avatar. Uh, really to scale my interactions. Many of my courses, we have 300, 400 students, and it's very difficult to give office hours individually, one at a time. And so that's what I was looking for. And how did I train it? I took all of my lecture notes, all my PDFs, all my YouTube interviews, and even some Zoom transcriptions, sort of filtered those out, which ones I thought were appropriate to train on. Websites, Wikipedia page, upload all of those uh, content items into the Supra and started using it. And one thing I found that the students were very intrigued. They could ask questions without being embarrassed by asking me directly. I could see the answers that the Supra was giving to the students, and if there's any error, I could edit them. And for the next time a similar question was asked, and quite often it's a very similar questions, it's sort of a 90-10 rule, 90% of the questions are the same, like what is a neural network, or tell me how to train the different parts of a neural network. And people kind of liked it. They were able to get information without coming to me, or they'd ask the Supra first and then ask me based on that information what I'd already received. And what we'd actually do would be able to look at other things. So I think people are also trying to detect what I would say, and most times it would say what I would say in real life. And sometimes I use it when people send me very long emails. I just upload it to the Soopra, and then it actually does my thinking for me. What I would have thought would take me 3 or 4 minutes to think about it comes back in about 15, 20 seconds. Now, challenges to included is explaining to people what it is. It's not me in the background. It's still a digital twin that works as best as it can. It's sometimes smarter than me because it's got the entire internet as well to sort of backfill it. For use in healthcare and health tech, um, certainly some professions are highly sought after. The question is, what levels of interaction would be satisfied by Supra versus what level has to be done by a human. And I think what we need to think about, you have the same thing where people might be more candid and just might want not to spend the money. They don't have insurance to use a digital twin medical advisor. But how do you sort of cross the line so you're not giving inaccurate medical advice um, to anyone who might be using it? And I think a lot of AI systems are sort of playing with this. Dr. Reddit, Dr. Internet is a typical catchphrase that it's a fact that people are going to the internet first to make their conversations with their doctors more smooth. You may have a 10-minute consultation with a doctor, but my doctor knows I've spent 2 hours researching the topic, and it's more of a discussion instead of requiring a. My doctor always says, "Ronjon, what do you think it is?" Right? She knows I spent 2 hours, so I'm her research assistant, and I think that's where you have to sort of position Supra in health tech as a research assistant. The third aspect is as a scientist. How can you have it as a co-pilot, as a scientist, when you're trying to figure out what things to implement and invent? And I start to use it myself, and my collaborators often will ask my Supra without bothering me to see what I would think before going forward. But again, how do you actually sort of check what's actually being said? So those are sort of the challenges and the opportunities.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks for sharing this. Definitely, there are certain things that we also noticing. Some of our customers shared is um, can um, can I create a Supra and start uploading what I'm feeling today morning about my sleep apnea? That is something that they have asked about, like what's going on with my health. Can I journal with Supra? So that is definitely something that can be done, and I think this is a little bit segue from what I asked Dr. Ronjon. And I think this is mostly towards Frank, because there is a recent advancement with your Supra. I wanted to ask you this question: how are you democratizing knowledge share with AI? In your case, how it's happening and how your AI persona is monetizing it?
Well, let me begin by saying everything that I know about AI, I learned from Ronjon. I took his introductory course, and he made me take it over 3 times before he would let me actually teach a class with him on investing. And that's where he introduced the chatbot idea, and I was blown away with that. And so I started one of my own. And in that class, the last class that we taught, that was the favorite thing that the class had to do was use our chatbots to ask questions, and with mine to use the software that was on my chatbot. So uh, if there's anything missing in my knowledge of AI, it's Ronjon's fault. democratizing investing. What does someone need to know in order to make intelligent investment decisions? Well, certainly they need to know something about monetary theory. Now, what makes interest rates go up and down, and what makes inflation go up and down? Well, it goes up, and maybe it doesn't come down quite as easily as it goes up. And then there's the portfolio theory. So everything that I have learned about those three subjects, I put into my chatbot. And any questions that students might ask on those three subjects are there. So now I'm retiring again, and I'm leaving the education part to my chatbot. And I monitor that to see what is happening, to make sure that the answers are reasonable. Most of the time, they're better than the ones I would have thought of. And so I'm just thrilled that I have an opportunity to do that. Now, there have been people investing their money for a long time. And just as long since the Rothschilds, there have been somebody who would invest that money for them, investment managers. But since 1970, a new group came along, a group that would say, I know who the best managers are. And you give me 1, 2, or 3% of the assets that you have every year, and I will tell you which manager is the best. And I think that the chatbot could be a democratization of investing for those investors who are experienced. And all they need is to have the tools to work with and this background knowledge that is in my chatbot. And so that is now being made available to them. For more sophisticated investors, there might be someone who would need to have an individual manager to guide them through this. And certainly that's never going to go away either. So the chatbot, I think, could be something that managers could use, that investors could use, that advisors could use to increase their understanding, get another voice about what is important to the investor. And I'll have more to say about that as we go along.
Yeah, absolutely. Share about how your calculator would help some of the investment decisions, and also the recent collaboration with GLC would be great.
You want me to do that now?
Absolutely, go for it.
This is exciting. Ready for me. We have just entered into a partnership with the Golden Life Community for Women Over 55. Their Chief Executive Officer is Kathy Torocione, and she will be working with me very closely to provide her members with access to our software. And that will be where they can access the chatbot to gain our access to our knowledge base. And they have our advanced software that we give them a video of how to use it. And then we will make available to them seminars as we go along to keep them educated on what is going along. And instead of charging 1, 2, or 3% of their assets every year, the total fee is $200 a year for all of this, as often as they want to use it. And that's the advancement that I'm very proud to be part of.
That's awesome. So a little bit about how Frank's persona is. He trained with his calculator data, where it is very unique to Dr. Frank Sortino, where people can utilize it for investment decision making. That is, available on his Supra persona that I shared here in the chats. I'm going to reshare it if everybody wants that again. You can chat across his calculator, use his calculator for some data driven decision making, and also it will be available on GLC website. The beauty about Supra is it is portability of your Supra as well. It need not be on the Supra app. It can be anywhere you want it, especially on the websites or your partnered websites. So I'm very excited about this collaboration, Frank, with Kathy and GLC and you doing it. So yeah, and GLC has around 10,000 member group, about 50, where it's a community for making some decisions about their investment or any kind of mentorship that they need. And that is the Golden Life community. Kathy, thanks for sharing it. Um, yeah. Um, with this, I think it can be great for all of you to contribute to one of the questions that I have, because it's not about today, it is about the future as well. If we fast forward 2030, what do you think the AI powered personas will look like, and how will they shape the future of interactive learning and monetization? Um, can I point this one to Dr. Ronjon Nag?
Well, if you play it forward, we're really at the beginning here, and I think Bob mentioned these things about how we've had demonstrations where, the avatar goes up to the meeting instead of me, right, and reports back to what went on in the meeting and actually contributes to the meeting itself. So if you play it forward, we'll all be sending our digital twins to talk to other digital twins. And maybe that could be done at speed. If you had a meeting just with only digital twins, a 1 hour meeting could possibly be last the same amount of time and compressed into 1 minute, and get the answer back of a 1 hour meeting in 1 minute, because digital persona can interact with each other much quicker than humans can interact with each other. So, maybe sort of science fiction type things, but it's sort of like in AI, we call it agents or agentic processing, where we, manually would sort of try and solve a problem. So maybe, in Frank's field, maybe I want to figure out how to optimize my portfolio. So maybe it needs to figure out what my current portfolio is. It needs to figure out what my risk profile is, and maybe it's a questionnaire to get that information. Then it needs to figure out, well, what's going on in the market right now, and what are the correlations between different financial instruments. And you might do that as a workflow, step by step. Now, if you actually have the way AI is going, you just tell it to do it to actually lump together multiple workflow elements in one go. So when you talk to your Siri today, you have to sort of talk to it one at a time, with one question. And if you go to the next step, you can just lump together 3 or 4 steps all in one go. So I can imagine Supra doing that. If you get to the next step, you have digital twins talking to other digital twins. You get a quicker, rapid solution. So, and then of course, it comes back to us as a human, where we slow it down. And do we want to think about that when add new information? So I'll stop there with a few based on that science forward thinking.
Send your Supra to monetize for you. You need not do anything. Just send your Supra. Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Ronjon has this R42 Institute where every year he invites fellows from all over the world to come join him in AI projects. And I've had the pleasure of working on a number of those. And I have some ideas for this next time that would apply to to my chatbot. If some people are interested in using that, I think there's some innovation to be done in performance measurement. That I'd love to have some fellows work with me on to implement on my chatbot.
Yeah, definitely that is possible because there are a bunch of things that are coming out right now with having a digital twin, as Ronjon Nag recently formed that, having your digital twin, because the capability of AI personas is not just creating AI persona for legacy, but it can be used for various things. Like as Frank Sortino, you are using it for democratizing financial decision making. Dr. Ranjan Nag is using it for his students, but there are more things about can Frank's persona talk to Dr. Ranjan Nag's persona right in this meeting? Yes, that is possible. And can it have a meaningful conversation? Yes. Anything, Bob, that you want to add to it?
Well, everything that was just mentioned are things that I've been thinking about, and I continue to have this vision for the, I don't know, 1 million startups a year, half of which fail in the first year because they don't have the resources to hire some top level people, and also the population is changing now, and the hiring process and keeping the right people on board is becoming a little more challenging there. So it will, first of all, act nicely as a mentor to your existing people. And then for the CEO at the top who starts a business with an idea with one person for very, very little cost, is able to sit down and actually have this interaction with several avatars at once, experts at once, running through. And when I think about the most recent company that I built and how long it took to figure out, and the need for, I call it joining the sigmoid curves in terms of my business model, so it used to be you could write a business plan for 5 years and maybe get to year 2 before you had to redo it. And by the time we sold our company a few years ago, we were reinventing with the big group every quarter from scratch on that. And you could do this as an individual. And for all the introverts of the world, and there seem to be a growing number of introverts of the world, I think it'd be attractive as well to be able to go into your dark little corner and sit down and brainstorm the next company, the right investments, whatever it happens to be, with an interaction, not quite like the movie Her, but an interaction with an avatar who continues to build a relationship with you, and interact properly and read your reactions and that sort of thing. It's really still, to me, a little bit like Ranjan said, science fiction to think of some of this stuff, but it's happening so quickly now that it's exciting to be in the space just a little bit here.
That's great. Yeah. When you said about science fiction, another question just popped up in my mind, I could say. There's a lot of ethical and philosophical things that are part of this AI for future. Um, there is so much going on, like AI personas, AI agent. There is new bills passing every day on this one. How would you foresee having this ethical issue around your AI persona? Is it something? Can you share something around that ethical AI ethics and around that? Uh, Dr. Ranjan Nag, you want to talk?
Well, I think the important thing is it uh, saying what you would say? Is it actually misrepresenting to you? Is it uh, uh, turning on when you want to turn it on? Do you have complete control over it? Um, and I think that's one of the sort of the big things that I think users and implementers of their twins want to do, that they're not being misrepresented. And so more and more features are being added onto the platform. Certainly, one thing you can do is review the uh, interactions. And if you think this is an incorrect interaction, you can edit it to provide the correct answer. And over time, it becomes more and more correct. Because certainly people want to know, and I think people know when they're using it, that they're not actually talking to the real human. They're talking to an embodiment of the human. And uh, sometimes on customer service portals, you're not quite sure whether it's a human or it's a machine replying to you. I think it's pretty important to know that you are talking to the machine implementation, not to the human part, and be quite clear about that, just in case there is. No, then people will make allowances if there's an incorrect interaction between the questioner and the chatbot responding to it.
Absolutely. I think you have Dr. Frank Sortino.
No.
All right. I would like to open up the stage for some questions. We have some interesting questions here on the chat. First one is, I think it is most catered towards Soopra, a virtual conference room available now. So, for audience who does not know, some of the products that we are releasing right now is can your Soopra persona join a call like this? So, super disclaimer: none of these people are AI personas. These people are real, right here. Dr. Ronjon Nag, Dr. Frank, and Bob. It's not their persona, but we will be soon launching in Q2 the personas that can join a meeting and have a meaningful conversation in the conference like this exactly. So you would be seeing those glimpses with some of the beta users that are coming up. I think Basant has one question. How is Supra different than personalized chat with ChatGPT? Does it use ChatGPT wrapper as an underlying model, or Supra train its own model for a specific use case? All of it, Basant, to answer your question. Mainly, we are using various models in the backend because we have proprietary data content and the models in the backend to really answer your responses. But also we tap into ChatGPT, Llama, and other LLMs to based on your response. We wanted to based on your query. It is tapping into different models. So it's a plug and play model that we play. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure that anybody who is asking a question has more specific response that is very personalized to your request. Um, and also, Basant has a question like, do you have a mobile app? It's coming, it's in works right now. It'll be soon released with a small set of for only specific experts. Where if you're an expert and create your AI persona today, you can have a mobile app that you can share with anyone in your network, along with some of the personas that match your profile. Um, Other questions that we have is, do we need to load all data to Supra first first for usage for chatbot? For example, if I need to use my sales reporting analytics in my computer, do I need to load the data upfront into Supra, and that is only source of AI model trained by, or there are other sources? Actually, Ravindra, there are a lot of other sources to train. We wanted to give a capability to train your Supra persona with multiple data sets. One is the documents, other is your web links, and your YouTube data, as well as your Twitter content. And also, we have journaling features. Journaling feature is like, let's say I'm not a document person because Dr. Ronjon Nag, Dr. Frank Sortino, and Bob has a lot of things. They wrote books, they have content out there. If you don't have it, you can train your Supra persona with journaling feature that is available on Soopra platform. Um, any questions for our panel here?
We've stunned them.
Well, I think there's a number of questions on actually how do you get started? How much does it cost to be able to get going? And you can get started. As little as $9. I think it's $9 a month. I can't remember if there's a free version.
It's a
And
free version, yes.
and you basically just take all your PDFs, your writings, your books, YouTube presentations, and you just upload them, and off you get going. I think there's different prices depending whether you can kind of set it up so when people interact with it, it's free. Um, or you can just set it up so when people interact with it, they have to pay you to interact with you. Or you can set it up so with different types of messaging. So if you have lots and lots of interactions, then it costs more. If it's just a few interactions, then it's free or nominal. And then you can have it cost more if you want your video part. But maybe Praveena, you can update us on what all the different price points are.
Yeah, so definitely it is based on, we wanted to give everyone an ability to create their AI persona for free so that they could create their AI persona and start monetizing it. It is a revenue share model. We take a commission of what you put as a monetizing model. We have standard, premium, and ultimate packages based on what you wanted to use your AI persona for. You can choose a package that is suitable for you. And here is a surprise reveal for everyone. If you create your AI persona today, we are offering 1 month free across all the tiers, and this is the coupon code that you could use for 1 month across all the packages, which is Supra, SOOPRA MIA 100. And you could use that coupon code across our standard, premium, and ultimate for 1 month. Try it out and see. And if you create your Supra persona in the next 30 minutes and share it on a social media platform, we would be sharing $10 Amazon gift cards for the first 10 personas that would be sharing on the social media and creating it. So if you are creating it, share with us via email, and you can also share your LinkedIn post. And this is an email that you could send it about it. Oh, sorry, Praveena at supra.ai. So please use this coupon code if you are a creator and you wanted to create your Supra persona. And it is across all our standard, premium, and ultimate. Ultimate package offers you a lot of stuff. Especially, you could train with your voice. You can give your AI persona your voice. The additional add-ons that we will be introducing, that is the ultimate package for the wide variety of uses. You can also have your Google Drive integration, because let's say I have a lot of Google Drive content. You can just ingest Google Drive to create your AI persona. So this is a surprise that I wanted to reveal. Yep, and we are still open for questions. Kavir, do you have any other questions? Did I miss in the chat?
There are a couple I see that you didn't see, I believe. What about documents with figures and diagrams? And then a question about the security aspect.
So figures and diagrams, we are launching it where it can be part of your responses. Thanks, Bob, for picking that. Especially where images can be relevant images will show up with your content. For example, you're talking about a diagrammatic representation of a neural network concept, it will show up in your response. We are in the beta phase, but it is coming up soon in the first week of February. Um, Security is the biggest thing that we take everything very serious. Ownership, security, and privacy is the biggest thing. We are putting that into every layer of our product, whether it is at an architect level or whether it is a product level. User owns control and can monetize their Supra persona, and security is on top of everything.
Couple of comments, questions. How does it distinguish what the individual says versus what might be a reference?
Yeah, that's where we give the because these AI personas, as we are evolving into the space of digital AI's twin space, not necessarily all the time the AI says is according to what you have, according to what you wanted, because it is learning from your data. And think of it as a child, right? As you are training them, as you are coaching them, it is learning every day with you. The more time you spend, the more accurate it is. Dr. Ronjon Nag put together all his course content, and I think it's 3 years of worth of wise works in it, where it is more accurate. But it is an investment for future, because as you are seeing, there is so much of synthetic content out there. Eventually, the authorized and authentic content will become like a content in the museum. So I would like to say, like, start today by owning it and controlling it instead of just unleashing it. Copyright of content, Kate, we are looking towards, because a lot of us use external content as our documentation or information that we put together in our information, like references. We provide references, but the information that your supra persona gives out will eventually be watermarked as a copyright that you own as the information. Will we have an ability to have our own images? Can you clarify that, Kathleen? How do we update persona, add new content? It's very simple, Adrian. You just have to click update my profile, delete the content that you don't want it, add the content that you wanted, and save it. It is within minutes, it will be updated with the new content. Does it read our input in when you improve the AI model? Uh, it is what kind of input to improve the AI model, right? So if you're editing the responses in the response, then it is actually taking that into training your model. For example, um, you can go to your profile and start editing the responses. Did I answer your question, Adrian?
Yeah, I saw one question. It's scroll up ways now. How do you introduce super to a skeptical relative? I chuckled at it a bit because in the ongoing iteration I've had about how we could use the avatars, I suggested to my siblings that my mother, who is 93, could become an avatar on there and read stories and this sort of thing. And we went there, and my brother thought it was cool. My sisters thought it was creepy. so, so you're going to get mixed responses on that if that's what you were talking about. If it's about them going on and seeing you there, that's easy enough. I've had relatives go look at it, and they were surprised at the accuracy of the answers.
Yeah, definitely it is an adoption. If you look at AI, is so much of buzz around, but do we know what percentage of people actually adopted AI is less than 10% across the world today? Those are the stats that show there's a lot of adoption that need to happen, and a lot of uh, because when AI responds, it's about what you trained it with, right? And what are the content? So I think Ranjan, you and I talked about environmental factors, right? Environmental factors are my favorite topics because an AI cannot be true representative until it has environmental factors like what is happening in the news today, what kind of environment are you, whom you are talking to. I'm talking to Ronjon Nag, whom I've known for the last 5 years. Dr. Frank Sortino, I've known for quite a few years right now, since 4 years, and Bob for 1 year probably. But there is a different factors that we need to give in order for your AI persona to really respond. You need to get all the cues from the environmental factors. Whom I'm talking to, what is happening today, what is the topic that we are talking, what kind of relationship I have. So there's a lot of things that we need to consider for AI personas to be accurate enough. And also it depends upon how much you are training, how often you go back and train.
Right. There's a few questions on courses. Something, this Supra, it can be a digital twin, but you offer a thing to actually create a course which you can also charge for. Is that
That's
correct?
right.
Right.
So many of you are teachers as well, and you are coaches and thought leaders. You can create a course and offer to your followers to learn from you. For example, we have some of the courses that are being offered on the platform are by Henry Mullock, who's a English major and he teaches English. He is offering course through your AI persona. So this is another monetization capability that you can have on Supra, where when you create your AI persona, you can also offer courses for separate on an additional cost, not only the cost for talking to you, but additional cost on top of it.
Right. And then adding an image, you can just put your own picture in, I think, right? But you're gonna have video as well shortly, right? Where you can.
Video is coming soon, but yes, only image right now. Yep. All right, we have another 3 minutes for a few more questions, like couple of questions, and we'll love to again say this is an offer for you to create your Supra persona for free for 1 month. And again, I'm sharing the coupon code here. You can use that coupon code for 1 month free across all the tiers. And also, if for the first 10 super personas they create and share on social media, whether it's Twitter or X, I could say, or LinkedIn, would get Amazon gift cards today. Please share those things to Praveena at Supra.ai if you created it and shared it.
And then eventually
Go
we'll
ahead.
be able to brand it with our own brand instead of the Supra brand.
Yes, we also yes, we have the capability for white labeling it. Don't worry if you want it, you have a website or any place that you wanted your Supra to be surfaced, we can white label it on your brand and it will be just powered by Supra.
How much does that cost?
It is first one-time setup fee of $500, and the chat widget based on the customization, it starts as $100 per month.
Hey, Praveena, if I can jump in, David Nash asked a question just right up my alley. You can see there he's in the middle of a five book fictional series and is talking about doing an avatar. Maybe you can touch on that a bit, but I'll share that I'm just finishing a book that uses AI for the 52 characters that are in it that actually speak, and that would be the next level. Beyond an audible with all these different voices would be something there. Can you comment on that, Praveena?
Yes, so we are also working with some of the authors like Jerry Zaltman and a few other authors, and how their persona can be an interactive agent for about their book. The major challenges that we see is a lot of these publishers have different copyright issues. But if you own the copyright for your content, you can definitely make your book as an interactive agent, and where it can be used by your book readers to talk about your book across.
And you can monetize by doing a link to Audible, link to
Yeah.
Amazon, or whatever it happens to be there.
Yeah.
Great.
This was a great session. I really want to thank Dr. Ronjon Nag, Bob Vosburgh, and Dr. Frank Sortino, and all the audience here. We are super excited about the future of AI personas and how it's going to change the interactiveness for learning and scaling your AI persona and monetizing it. If you have any questions, I already shared multiple times my email. Just bug me with sending me to my email. Send me as many questions you have. I'm here to answer your questions. So thank you everyone for this awesome session.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks for having me.